Apologize for my delay. I'll be underway shortly. I swear. This is inhale some sawdust. All right, I should have my chat up on a monitor in just a second. Yo, Jesse, how you doing? Let's put some WD-40 on some tools, and I'm not sure what's the best surface to do it on. Anyway, we're gonna knock out a couple little tasks here today. I think we're gonna make a couple of tools. But I gotta do something about that, right? So there's a little piece of a glue up going on back here. I think is gonna work for another idea I have. And I'll get this. That's a good thing about having a concrete floor. You can just kind of spray stuff on it. It doesn't hurt anything. I did have a good day, man. I had a fantastic day. Thank you so much for asking me that. We had a blast. All the kids were here. All the kids. All the kids. It's wild that when you are one of the kids, you don't realize how big a deal that is for the parents. So I just started this so I can organize my desk. You can tell I'm getting fat over these holidays. But I'm gonna put some of this stuff to use today. Let me get the stuff I don't need elsewhere. I could show y'all though real quick. Well, I just happen to have it right here. Do you remember I did that Purple Heart experiment where I had the Purple Heart and I baked one in the oven. I bleached one outside after putting the brushing the acetone on it, and then I just left one natural. I can show you the difference right now. I'm gonna cut a little through piece on this. just do it right here on the spike leaves. Right quick. Okay. Wait, let me hit the side too. So peep the difference. The outer one versus the inner one, and the end grain here versus the lines. Isn't that crazy how they change? That purple, and this is the one that I baked. Like way different. Anyway, thought you might think that'd be interesting. Oh yeah, I always make a feast. All right, Fitty. Yeah, it's like reversing color with the end grain, just depending on which way it's going. It does that on this one too. And I think it's the only one that does it, where this is a light one, turns to the dark one. It's a dark one, turns even darker. But this is Purple Heart, this one right here, like number 2, number 4, and number 5 are all Purple Heart. But I think I want to make some earrings or something out of this. Don't know. The baking did a really fantastic job. It was surprisingly good, Lions. Surprisingly good. The only thing, though, about it was it dries it so fast that it curled it really hard. This is the sheets that I used, right? And it already has a little bit of curvature in it, right? But when it baked, it went like that and it stayed like that. Like it was hard to straighten it back out. So when this is actually, I don't know if you can tell, this is 2 pieces together. And then I sanded it back down. So this is actually 4 layers of this same stuff just going in the same direction. That's why the color doesn't change on this one. It all stays the same. And it baked. And when it baked, it all got really dark. And like, yeah, really nice and dark. So dark, I'm really curious about doing this with a different wood. Maybe Padauk, just to see. I don't know. But I really liked it. And enough to, this one has no treatment at all on it. It's the same as this. But it's just sanded down nice and smooth. And that's what I'm going to use for this marking gauge I'm going to make, and this scribing knife I'm going to make as well. So I think I'm going to use this for the shaft of the marking gauge, and then I'm going to build the marking gauge top, not out of this necessarily, right? And then also going to have a actual scribing knife. So might as well get started on the metal part of that. Draw it out on my stuff, and I'll start making stuff. Did I cut it after baking it? Yes. Yes, I did. It didn't seem to make much difference in the cutting. It did make it a little bit stiffer, but admittedly, it was in this form when I cut it, right? I had the two already sandwiched, and so it was sort of in this kind of form. False alarm. Okay, so where's our metal? I gotta try to figure out some sort of on the spot marking gauge design, but I don't think that's gonna be too hard, right? Do I want one that's gonna be two-sided? Left to right, but not, no, front to back, but not necessarily left to right. Only sharp on one side, flat. And I might as well just do it to a point and not be particularly fancy. I don't want to make a knife of it. How does it fit in what I got so far? That's hella wide. Of course, that is too, but that's closer. That's closer. And that probably feels better. That's going to be for the thing anyway. But if you look, that ain't too far apart. So this can work. So let's consider our design. How much do we have to have inside of that piece? And then what's just going to be convenient for what we've already got. I don't want to be too long because I got to cut into this time in order to make it work. Do I have one that I don't know? Or I can do it totally new. Cut this down through here because that's already scarred up, burnt up, but we don't care right now. Bring this down like so. And then take our maple, boom, boom, yeah, with a little knife, maybe we make a little bit fatter knife altogether. And it just, maybe that's an answer. Let's get the darker marker. See if we can make those lines a bit sharper. I'd rather be a biter, but once I was a barker. Say said the same thing to Jay-Z, but he's the author. All right. Just gonna go ahead and cut this part out, build it, and figure out the rest of it as we go. The important part is that it's sketchy grinder time. Sketchy grinder time. What's the... I know y'all can't hear me as much as I'd like you to, but I have new microphones on the way. I lost the receiver thing and I'm a dope. But thanks to Pilato's Creations, he did let me know what he was using. It sounds great. I ordered another one and it should be here in a couple of days. And then the audio will be a little bit better. Till then, I apologize. And I pray that you are not too distraught by the audio that is also upcoming. Because there may not be noise cancellation, but there will be some grinding. You know what I keep in my lining. You had better stay in lining when thou sees a player like me shining. Yeah, Lions. Heck yeah. Soothing tones of the West Desert Orchestra. I forgot I locked this in dumb tight like I be doing. But what I did not forget is my needle nose pliers. That will always work as a key if it gets too tight for some reason. That's trash now. Never try to save a chipped blade. I think I might just want to burn up this Hitachi grinding wheel. I've had it forever. And so I might as well use it. It's brand new. I don't know when the last time I owned a Hitachi grinder. Whatever you want to do, give it a little bit. I'll be really careful to center these good and not to over tighten them. You crack these, they can break and shatter and send pieces everywhere. So don't overdo it. Tighten the crap out of that though. plug in the rug. Without the guard, I do take my guard off all the time though. I mean, I ain't gonna front. I did learn that this is better, particularly with a cheap wheel, because the wheel breaks, boy, there's a problem. Here we go. I don't want to give you the wrong view. Guys, I don't want to give you a bad view. Can you see? All right. Oops. Maybe find another place for that. Man, the freaking profile that cuts is huge. Jeez. Last time I burnt a hole in my good jeans, but I kept my knife blade cool. Priorities. Get some water on it. Everything's better. Cool water on it. This is damn sure just a grinder blade, because it ain't a cutter worth a damn. How deep are we? Showing some color on the other side. Ah, nice. Do. That grinding disc is doing a better job at cutting the disc than I thought it would. Yeah, it's doing good. It just makes such a wide profile, you know what I mean? Which is weird for me. To me. Doing anything yet? You ain't doing anything yet. Still ain't through. Are you doing anything? This profile is so wide. So big. Holy smokes. That might be better for getting an edge. I mean, really, that's grinding down, but it's doing it so slow and so wide. That might be actually better for getting an edge on a knife. Because it sucks for just cutting out. It wastes more material. It wastes a lot of material. My last one, my diamond blade wasn't cutting as good as it used to. So I thought a fresh, crappy blade might be good. I think I was wrong. I think I'm gonna have to go back to the old faithful Uno. You could technically put the bevel on it with the cuts. That's exactly right, Lions. That looks like that looks like what I'm gonna do. Holy crap, this mask is crazy. I like it because it doesn't make me as claustrophobic as the others. But then I'll breathe and it'll send puff of air right up into my eyeball and it drives me crazy. All right, let's see what this does. I'll never doubt you again. So we are obviously going to take a look at this, this piece and see if this makes any sense to salvage, because we can obviously cut another one faster if it's too cut up and beat up. So it looks like it's got a cut going across this way, and I don't think that'd be consequential. It's on the tang. But if that's the knife, that's enough, right? I think so. But will it be pretty is another concern. Because, you know, there is still my vanity to satisfy. It's not mixed words. I like shit to look good. So, think that means we're going to have to recut the line here. Let's move some of that junk out of the way. I think that means we're going to have to recut right here and just go straight across and then shape it. This is going to be a terrible front anyway. But this, all this stuff right here can be nice. Go in and then we can shape it after we get it situated. I think. Get a nice length inside of our tang. We're going to use 2 new pieces. Boom, boom. We might even put a tip over, you know, a little close. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Either way, let's go ahead and lock this in. Maybe we'll go ahead and turn this around so that our grinder gets a little better clearance as much as possible. Verse 2. It's a decent line. That's a decent line. So we're just going to follow that a couple more times. Cut it out. Start shaping. Oh yeah. This might be the pass right here. YouTube won't let me play music, so I want y'all to be thinking of Sean Price lyrics while I'm doing this, all right? Okay. Here's Ed Kovac teaching us all about this. This is a diamond bit, and it is specifically for cutting steel. It says it on the packaging. It is designed for it, and thanks for knowing it all, but you don't. Yes, actually, a concrete bit is designed for cutting concrete, not steel. Get out of here. Everybody telling me something. Get out of here. Do me a favor. Get out of here. Who's the guy? Come on. Who's the guy? Thank you, know-it-allerton. Not the worst thing that's ever happened. Oh my gosh, confetti. Oh my God. This is the most durable lighter on earth. I promise you. I've had this thing for 3 months now. I drop it off from my desk because I keep it here because I love it that much. I always have this thing now. And I drop it daily. It fires right back up. I drop it on this metal part daily. This is like a good luck charm for me now because it's indestructible. Shout out to Runic. Shout out to Runix. Not only beautiful, but it is a durable ass product. Holy crap. It's like you got a Porsche for your daily driver and it never breaks down. That's what it feels like. Like my daily driver never breaks down and it's a Porsche. That's what we got out of this blade. We got probably 5 or 6 more out of that thing. But this is enough for what we're looking to get because the size we're after is about that. So we'll do this, clean up some of this water off my desk from this because the water and wood don't mix without the finishes. And we'll go ahead and cut this to a size and a shape we want. And if it were not so late, I would torch the crap out of it and dunk it in hot oil. But I then need to temper it in the oven I don't know if I can stay awake another 3 hours while I do all of that. But we'll go as far as we can tonight. Who all's in here? I haven't acknowledged nobody. What's up, Lions? What's up, Fetty? My good friends in the building. Yo, check. I did another members video for you all that I really want y'all to take part in. If you would. FYI. Getting down to business to defeat some Huns. Definitely. Definitely. You know, all this stuff works. It's just a matter of how efficient you need to be, right? How efficient you need to be for your particular task. But there's options. That last cut got real nice and straight, so that may just be the back side of my tang. It did leave these ragged edges right here, so we're just going to put that in the old Viceroni, and we'll file those edges right off. That shouldn't take any time at all. And then we'll start figuring out some sort of shape and what kind of knife we're going to end up with. It just has to come to us along the way. We got a baseline idea of what we want to do, but we don't want to overcommit too soon. It's not you. It's me. Where you at, Buster? All right, there is water somewhere. I just got all sorts of shit everywhere. But it's all good stuff that I love. I want around. It's what I gotta do to make my thingamabob work. Once that happens, yeah. See that? I feel like my seat is still a little bit wet, and I can feel it a little bit in my legs / butt. So all we're doing is trying to pull this burr, so don't freak out too much. It's literally what's happening when you're sharpening a knife. This is an upscaled version of that. That's what's happening when you're sharpening your blades on a microscopic level. That's what you're getting. Pulling that burr off, and that's all I care about. It did good. My thighs are definitely wet. And yeah, the wheel keeps on spinning. Getting this burr off. And what I'm doing is just coming over top of that, and it just forces the burr up onto that plane. You can knock it down from there too. But all I'm interested in is just not to have sharp corners here. All this is still going to go over the belt sander and get tightened up before it's all said and done. We don't have our final shape or anything near it yet, but we do want something clean to work with. I'm so high, sucking the wrong end of my vape, wondering why nothing. Lions. Something already happened. Ah, I got a little chunk over here. Oh, that's one of the teeth. That's not gonna come off. Tripping. Lions, I might have had my vape too long too, man. Pulling that bird. Maybe that's the way. I was pulling that bird the wrong way. No wonder she left me. I was always pulling her bird the wrong way. Look at that. If I had a marking gauge and I just wanted it to come to a point, how long of a point would I want one end to be flat? If I did that, would that then make my marking knife more of a carving knife? But also, if I did it to a point in the center, it could also make for a better little sheath. That's also true. Yeah, I'll do a little round, then I'll bring it back this way. Something like that. Scalpel. Scalpel. All right, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This I gotta cut off with the grinder for sure. Grinding. I think my neighbors are playing Love Can Keep Us Together. Might make these friends. Hagley ho. So that seemed to work. it's cool enough to touch yet. But generally, it's not far from what we were after, right? And then if we can get our sides on, let me dry this off. Get our sides on it, right? Maybe like that. It should be good, right? And we just carry that straight down. Put another piece in at the very back. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to describe that. Since I do not have a marking gauge, what I am going to do is that. That'll be excellent. Just going to put a little bit of a belly, I think, on it. Because I think that's going to give me some added benefit. So I think I'm going to let that taper right back in. Just sort of a nice, clean, organic shape. That might go weird, who knows? But we'll have to see. What we can do is go ahead and stick these together and cut it. We can do that on the vise. I'm trying to find a good position to saw from. I'm going to make it wide for sure, so I can have the best chance to work it down until finished. That sucks. I'll drop some more stuff on the ground. on a Wednesday afternoon. Losing. Oh boy. Sorry, y'all. That's hilarious. Dropping, like knocking everything. Hold right there. Hold right there. I wonder if this will work. Multi-tool has entered the chat. Dang it, multi-tool. Been so successful in historically. This once you're not the answer. This is the one time. Oh my God. It has to be a historic all-time. Tell you what. We'll try to tick off every last YouTuber there is. This is the way. This is the way. See if I can finish it over there. Perfect. I just have to cut. That would not be as easy a cut. That wouldn't either. burn through it. Dope. Sound effects and all. Okay. YouTube is going to continue to punish me for your lack of likes, you know? I'm the one that's just going to get it. I'm going to catch the brunt of YouTube's alga hostility. Not you. Not you. Hit the like button. It bothers me when people say smash the like button. I don't like the term. Smash? Smash? I don't like it. I disagree. Okay, so we got that. We need some other stuff in there. What do we do with it? Okay. We need that to be roughly this size, but not quite exactly. So let's go ahead and cut that down to its proper size. We can do that on the grinder here. We got the belt sander here. We might need to change this. Nice and tight today. So It's a rough knife or marking gauge, whichever one it turns out to be better at. And with that, I feel like we can go ahead and drill us a couple holes, lock it in, and then start to situate our handle and get it ready for molding. Unless I'm getting text messages. Oh, snap. Well, here's what I am going to do. It's midnight, and the girls do have to drive out early in the morning, so before I make any more noise, I'm going to have to say goodnight. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. We are going to do more stuff. We'll probably be doing stuff all weekend because I can, and the kids will be gone for some of it. So, anyways, stick around, subscribe, like, do all the things to make me see you again and you see me. So, thank you everybody for coming out. Appreciate you. Peace. We'll be back. West does it. Peace.